You're watching Telecom TV from the ETSI NFV 15 event in Nice. And I'm joined now by Tetsuya Nakamura, who is Principal Systems Architect at CableLabs. Tetsuya, thank you for joining us again on Telecom TV. This is the first ETSI NFV event where we've had a dedicated focus on 5G. What was the point of that? What is the relationship between NFV and 5G, and how is ETSI facilitating this?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because so far nobody have any clear answer. So how NFV and SDN can help to realize the 5G? So that's why one of the objectives in such a breakout session in yesterday and today is just only to figure out so what's the potential impact and what the potential work to be addressed in ETSI NFV ISG in the context of the 5G. So that's one of the rationale, because if somebody already have a very clear answer or direction, it's not necessary to host such a workshop. But even in the operator and vendor community, nobody have a very clear answer how slicing looks like, or how edge computing looks like in the context of NFV and SDN. So that's only a reason why we and many of the operators is very keen to investigate.
So tell me more about the brainstorming session that's scheduled to take place during this NFV meeting. What do you hope to achieve from that?
We need to take into account not only a radio interface, but also how core network looks like. So that's why it's still variable to stand on the same ground. Because a definition or understanding of network slicing or edge computing or end-to-end service management is totally different. Even yesterday, so we invited a couple of external body relevant with the 5G, and many people are using same terminology. However, my understanding was definition and understanding per each body is totally different. So that's why one of the most minimum objective or goal today and yesterday will be to stand on the same ground.
So does this mean that service providers cannot embark on their 5G journey without first adopting and implementing NFV?
My honest impression is not sure. In some case, it's not necessary to deploy NFV at all, because it fully depends on their service requirements. If ultra low latency is necessary and the virtualization cannot meet such a requirement because of that overhead, why operator need to deploy the NFV? It's no make sense. So it fully depends on the user scenario and the corresponding service requirements.
So how can service providers select their NFV vendor partners if they don't yet know who the major 5G players and vendors are going to be?
Yeah, actually, that's a very difficult question, and because still early stage, and also, my answer will be, and my expectation will be, it also depends on which service area or user scenario, and who is a real expert in this particular domain. Otherwise, it's not a general term and a general issue, because some particular industry like automobile, or some sensor device, or something like more business service like SD, software-defined one. Those kind of things are totally different skill set, and expertise is necessary. So not only just deploying a VNF, but also how to operate and how to manage such a complex environment.
With all this focus on 5G, which is predominantly a mobile-centric set of technologies, what is the cable industry doing with regards to NFV?
So when I was in NTT Docomo, of course, 5G is a mobile-centric. And the 3GPP or NGN is the only place to discuss in this particular topic. However, I don't think 5G is not only for mobile. Everything should be converged. So in this sense, cable industry have a very big potential opportunity to expand their business into a mobile space and a convergence network. And finally, cable operator or any fixed and any cable and telephone and operator can provide with a transparent end-to-end service to the customer.
We don't seem to see a lot of initial involvement in this NFV process from individual cable operators so far. Are they content to sit back and see how things develop?
My understanding is cable operator is already start something inside in their house, and given that the CableLabs is such a R&D organization on behalf of the cable industry, so that's why we are aggressively and proactively involved in any relevant spaces like standardization, like ETSI NFV, as well as open source community as well, like OpenNFV or OpenStack or OpenDaylight. And we are very closely collaborate with each other to investigate what is the most appropriate scenario to think about as an initial deployment in the context of NFV and SDN.
Now, you've been involved in the NFV process for quite some time now. As we start to transition from release 2 to release 3, are we still on target? Are we going to achieve the aims that the industry set out to?
So when we started the ETSI NFV almost 4 years ago, our ultimate goal was still not on the way, is the interoperability. And horizontally split and break disrupt the telecom ecosystem, and how maybe we can ensure the multi-vendor ecosystem and multi-vendor interoperability. In this sense, current release 2 is only stop in the stage 2 level of the specification and the requirements. So in this circumstance, it's a little bit difficult to secure any multi-vendor interoperability. So in this sense, I think next 2 years, release 3 and release 4, will be more focused on the stage 3 work item. So it means more real protocol and specification, and to guarantee the more interoperability. So in this sense, I think it makes sense to do this transition.
Tetsuya Nakamura, thank you very much indeed.